The overall goal of this procedure is to improve the sensitivity of flow cytometry in order to quantify the specific immune cells in the injured spinal cord tissue via the removal of lipid myelin debris using an OptiPrep gradient system. This is accomplished by first dissociating the spinal cord tissue using both mechanical and enzymatic means. Then, 4 OptiPrep gradient solutions are created and used to separate lipid myelin debris from cells like neurons, glia, white and red blood cells. The cells isolated from the injured spinal cord tissue are then immunolabeled for specific immune cells like PMN neutrophils, ED1 macrophages microglia, and CD3 T cells. These immunolabeled positive cells are then quantitatively assessed by flow cytometry. Ultimately, results show the removal of lipid myelin debris enhances the quantitative detection of cellular inflammation in the injured spinal cord tissue using flow cytometric analysis.
The main advantage of this technique over the traditional cell dissociation method is that you can effectively separate and remove myelin debris from cells and thereby facilitate the quantitative assessment of cellular inflammation in the injured spinal cord tissue using flow cytometric analysis.
Begin the dissociation of the spinal cord tissue by putting Hanks buffered saline solution, or HBSS, in a petri dish. Then, using fine scissors, mechanically dissociate spinal cord segments T8 through T10 of uninjured control or contusion-injured spinal cord tissue at T9. Dissociation of an uninjured spinal cord is shown here, but the dissociation of the contusion-injured spinal cord can be done in parallel. Centrifuge the tissue bits in a 50 milliliter tube for 1 minute at 2000 rpm at room temperature. Then further dissociate the spinal tissue with a trypsin and collagenase solution in 5 milliliters of Delbecco's modified Eagles media, or DME, for 20 minutes at 37 degrees Celsius before trituration with a glass Pasteur pipette. Next, add 10 milliliters of DME plus 10% fetal bovine serum to cells to inhibit enzymatic activities, and then filter the cell solution through a 40 micrometer cell strainer into a 50 milliliter tube. Spin the cells for 3 minutes at 4000 rpm at room temperature. Then wash the pellet. Next, resuspend the cell pellet in 6 milliliters of HBSS for overlay on OptiPrep gradient solutions. Construct a diluted OptiPrep solution by diluting OptiPrep 1:1 with MOPS buffer, and then make 4 OptiPrep gradient solutions by mixing 350, 250, 200, or 150 microliters of the diluted OptiPrep with HBSS to a final volume of 1 milliliter per tube. Now, slowly and carefully place the full 1 milliliter of each of the 4 solutions in layers in a 15 milliliter conical tube with the least dilute on the bottom and the most dilute on the top. Then carefully layer the 6 milliliters of dissociated spinal cells in HBSS, both uninjured control and contusion-injured sample, on top of the OptiPrep gradient solutions. Next, centrifuge the tube containing the cells and gradient solutions for 15 minutes at 1900 rpm and 20 degrees Celsius. This will separate the cell solution into distinct layers, with lipid myelin debris in the top 7 milliliters of the tube, followed by 3 layers of neurons, and then inflammatory cells, glia, and red blood cells in the pellet. Carefully aspirate the top 7 milliliters that make up the lipid myelin debris layer. Then wash by transferring the remaining cell solution into a new 15 milliliter tube containing 7 milliliters of HBSS. Collect the pellet by centrifugation, and then resuspend the pellet in 2.5 milliliters of HBSS for immunolabeling. For both uninjured control and 1-day post-injured sample, 500 microliters of cells are transferred into 1.5 milliliter tubes labeled separately for PMN neutrophils, ED1 macrophages microglia, and CD3 T cells. Cells are pelleted by centrifugation for 2 minutes at 5000 rpm at room temperature. Resuspend the cell pellet in 500 microliters of 0.85% ammonium chloride for 5 minutes to lyse the red blood cells. Incubate for 5 minutes at room temperature, then centrifuge again for 2 minutes at 5000 rpm. Then wash the cells with 500 microliters of HBSS and centrifuge again. Cells are blocked for non-specific antibody binding for 30 minutes with 100 microliters of 10% normal rabbit or mouse serum. Wash the cells again. Then incubate the cells with fluorescent FITC antibodies against PMN neutrophils, PD-1 macrophages and microglia, CD3 T cells, or isotype control IgGs diluted in HBSS for 1 hour. Then wash the cells 2 more times and resuspend the pellet in 300 microliters of HBSS and transfer to fax tubes. Analyze the cells on a flow cytometer, reading 5,000 events per sample for all cell samples. Set flow cytometric gates using control IgG isotype labeled cells or spinal cord cells from uninjured control animals to set baseline values for normalization. For example, set a gate for uninjured control with 1.2% cell background and detect 6.1% PMN in the spinal cord tissue after 1 day post-injury. Removal of lipid myelin debris increases PMN neutrophil detection in the injured spinal cord 1 day post-injury, or DPI. As shown in this figure, PMN neutrophils quickly enter the spinal cord starting as early as 2 hours post-injury and peak at 1 day post-injury. Here it can be seen that ED1 macrophage microglial numbers increase in the injured spinal cord starting at 3 days post-injury, peak acutely at 7 days post-injury, drop to low levels at 14 days post-injury, before rising to a surprising second peak at 60 days post-injury, and remain in the injured spinal cord for up to 180 days post-injury. In this figure, the time-dependent multiphasic response of cellular inflammation after spinal cord injury is shown. The initial phase of cellular inflammation is composed of the early peak of PMN neutrophils at 1 day post-injury, followed by a peak of ED1 macrophages microglia at 7 days post-injury, and CD3 T cells at 9 days post-injury. The later phases are composed of all 3 cellular populations, which rise in number after 14 days post-injury and persist through 180 days post-injury, with a notable second peak of macrophages microglia at 60 days post-injury.
This method may be useful to neuroinflammation research and may facilitate the investigation of specific immune cells in traumatic brain and spinal cord injuries, as well as other pathological conditions in the central nervous system.